What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode is going to be a little short video. So the question a lot of people ask is the K24 going to fit under the hood? And on today's episode, I'm going to answer that question for you. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my DA. This is a K24 motor. I went ahead and did all the modifications for the hood. So I didn't film putting the hood on and all that, but the hood is on. This is an OEM hood. Initially, I had the Hasport mount set to the high position. So the high position on the Hasport mounts, they're actually made for the K20 motor. In the last episode, we installed the K-tune header. So the issue that we were having with these headers was having clearance issues with the steering rack. So by lowering the engine back down to the low position, since this is a K24, which drops the motor down about 3/4 of an inch, I believe, it does lower the motor and it does give you better hood clearance. But for some reason, the header position, it stays in the same position. It might have moved down just a tad bit, which was like probably less than a millimeter. So there is still some clearance issues with this header. So let me show you the clearance issues that I'm having if you missed the last video. So this is the header on the bottom. If you look closely, as you can see on the top portion on the runner on this side, it's slightly rubbing. I think it would be okay, but worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to take the header back off and bang that runner down a little bit. So if you guys know anybody running this header on a DA, let me know if you have this issue. So don't get me wrong, this K-tune header I do like, but there's a lot of issues with it. The only gripe I have about this header is, for one, the clearance issue on the steering rack. This motor mount right here for the back, I have to actually drop, if I wanted to adjust this motor mount, when I take this bolt off to adjust it, it's actually hits the header, so I can't get the bolt off. So I would actually have to take the header off just to adjust the motor mount or replace the motor mount. And the other issue is it's super close to the VTEC solenoid. So if this gasket was to leak, man, I don't know how. I'm probably gonna have to pull the header off just to change the gasket. And another gripe I have is getting this last bolt down here in the corner is super hard to get to. You can't see it because the runner's in the way. I'm actually missing that bolt. So I'm gonna have to figure a way how to get the 12mm bolt and then tighten it, because there's like no clearance. I even tried my little 1/4 inch ratchet and socket, and I couldn't even get it to thread in good. So I'm missing one bolt on the header. So there's one more issue. This is the feed line for the fuel system. It is super close to the header. I know I can cut this back and flare it out right here and then run a 90-degree AN fitting. It's still a little too close to the header to my liking. I'm not sure if this is going to be safe. So if you guys want to leave a comment down below, I may need to reroute this feed line somewhere, which I don't really want to do, and I don't know where to route it to. I got about a 2-finger gap from the header, but like I said, I don't know if this is too much heat for the fuel line. This is the clearance issue from the top. It is still super close, so here's another angle from the other side. I was thinking about running a 90-degree fitting towards this way, if that would make a difference or not. So my fuel setup was to run a 90-degree elbow this way with a fuel filter, run the line traditionally to the fuel rail, exit out, and then mount my fuel pressure regulator right there. And then the return line goes right there. but I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't know if that's safe to run it that way. So like if I was to reroute that feed line somewhere, I would have to pull the dash out. Then with me pulling the dash out, I would want to put my heater and AC back in here. And then I'll have to find another place to put my raw wire harness. So decisions. Now I do have all this open space right here. I was thinking about putting the feed line closer to the return line and maybe running my raw wire harness somewhere over here instead. But I'm not sure if it's gonna reach the ECU plugs on the side. I'm trying to do this the easiest way as possible. If I can get away with just doing the feed line right there, then I'm gonna do it. So like I said, this header is nice and all, but my first choice was to get the Skunk 2 Alpha K-swap header. That would eliminate all the problems that I'm having right now. But for some reason, I cannot find it anywhere. It's on back order. And K-Tune was running a sale on their website, so I was like, forget it. Let me just get this header since they say it fits a DA. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it doesn't really fit. So on to the next part, the hood. So when I first installed the hood, I had the engine set on the high position and I cut this big old piece off. I still need to clean it up, but I cut this big old piece off because it was hitting the valve cover right here. Once I did clearance this portion out, the hood did not close. It was fine on the driver's side, but on the passenger side, the hood stuck up maybe 2 or 3 inches, I believe. With the high position, there was no issue on this side. And with the hood being cut and all, it was still hitting the hood. Now you can get away with it if you want to run spacers on the hood, but to me, I didn't really like that look. So I lowered it back down. And you probably didn't need to cut that much off. Maybe just a piece of this corner right here, where this corner of the valve cover is. But once I close the hood now, on the low position, the hood does fit. No issues at all. I have plenty of clearance right here in the front. The radiator's not hitting, the intake's not hitting. Everything is good with the valve covers not hitting. The fuel rail clears. The hood does fit with a K24 with Hasport mounts, if anybody was wondering. I do need to adjust the front end a little bit more. For some reason I have a little gap right here on the edge. Nothing's hitting. I think it's just a hinge. On the passenger side, I do have a bigger gap. I'm not sure why, but I just need to play with the front end a little bit more and get it straight. Like I said, nothing is hitting. Got plenty of clearance. This is the driver's side. Everything fits nice. Don't mind the bumper, it's just hanging there. This is the passenger side. So the motor does fit under the hood. All right, y'all, so as you can see, we got a couple of problems going on. So leave a comment down below, you guys. I know this video is just a bunch of talking. I need you guys' opinion on what to do with the fuel system. I need to source out some JDM1 pieces. I need to figure out what front lip I'm gonna run. But I'm not really worried about that right now because I want to get this thing running. I do need to find some new wheels for the car because I sold the Koenigs that came with the car. I want to get the car back on the ground, roll it out, give it a wash. Still need to remove all these stickers on the car because I'm not really a sticker guy. I don't know, I want to keep the tan interior. I have all the interior pieces, but they're all in tan. Only thing I'm missing is the carpet. But first things first, get the car running. Say hi to the DB2. Waiting on my front lift from JDP. It's been about 2.5 months already and I haven't heard a word from him yet. I did have a little mishap with this car. My door is dinged up and the molding. My dumbass freaking hit the corner of the garage. But the goal is to get the K24 DA running. Now that I have a ding on that door, there's some other spots around the car that needs attention to where it's been bumped and scratched and dings all over it. So I'm kind of debating on respraying the car again. But before we respray this car, this is gonna get painted first. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button for me, comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.